You right in front of you. OKC to 82 points which is a pretty low number in any game, let alone the conference finals. What did you see that you guys did defensively that was able to lock them down that way?
I'm not going to get into details, but in general, being more disciplined and just trusting the game plan even more.
Vic, it feels like being active defensive in terms of the hands and over here. It feels like being more active in the passing lanes has been a theme for you guys all season. How important has that been to have all five guys being active in passing lanes, being aggressive on the ball, just for a culture?
That's super important, and pretty much everybody would do that if they could trust that the rotations are there behind. But we got good individual defenders, so when we connect individual and team defense, it holds team to low-scoring numbers.
Hey, Vic, when you guys sort of play with that hit-first mentality, what sort of tone does it set, and how does it kind of carry over the course of a 48-minute game?
I feel like we, as you know, with who we are, we need to start games like this. But it really doesn't mean anything for the way it holds. I mean, it helps for sure, but it's a whole nother type of effort to be consistent rather than just hitting first.
Vic, to your right, those of us who watched you kind of mess around shooting half-court shots after shoot-arounds and practices, it doesn't seem like you make a whole lot of those when you're messing around. What did you think leading into that one, going into halftime?
I was just thinking shoot to score. I wasn't messing around at halftime.
He said he's really enjoying the adjustments. And I was curious for you in your first playoffs, how much have you enjoyed the game-to-game adjustments as a chess player yourself? How would you compare it?
There's definitely similarities, as in any strategy game. It's fun. It's very fun. In the playoffs at some point, especially when a series drags on, everybody knows the other team like almost by heart. So it's different. I would say the coaches hold a lot of this load of the chess match. You know, the coaching staff, all the strategy. It's a lot. They do a lot of film. They work really hard.
Vic on the right, you said when you were sitting there the other day, we're going to find out what we're made of in this game. So one, did you wonder what the answer to that would be, and what did you find out tonight?
I didn't really wonder, no, because we didn't do nothing unexpected. But the truth is that we had never been in this kind of situation before. It was our first deficit in a playoff series. And we just responded, but it was nothing amazing. It wasn't magic. We just did what we needed to do, and the series is far from over. We got 6 more wins before we can rest.
In the first quarter, Devin had that block of McCain. Mm-hmm. Then he comes down court and feeds you for a lob dunk. Does that kind of sum up how good he's been on both ends in this series and in the whole playoffs?
It's hard to sum it up with just one play because his impact has been all over the floor on all kinds of areas and off the floor as a leader. So summing up his impact with just this play would not be fair to him.
Vic, after the last game, you said you needed to do a better job of essentially helping your teammates, and everyone around the team kind of says that you're hard on yourself. I'm wondering where that comes from, and then, you know, how do you manage the last 48 hours in your first playoff run and not letting that get to you?
I don't know if I'm hard on myself. We all have high standards, you know, and I know I have a lot of responsibilities, but I'm here for it. And Yeah, it was better today. It wasn't perfect, but all of us. I'm talking like the whole organizations. We're gonna have to do things that we didn't sign up for. I'm an employee to play basketball, but I'm not an employee to talk to whoever and find out answers to. We're all gonna do things like that, and that's why, as I was saying, I need to find ways to impact the game in many areas.
Offensively tonight, Vic, how much of tonight was reacting to what the Thunder were doing defensively, and how much of it was you deciding from a certain moment, at the start of the possession, what you wanted to do, and then kind of dictating it that way?
It was a little bit of both. It's a balance we got to keep in. It's a balance that I think we had kind of wrong in earlier in this series.
You got to spend the last 8.5 minutes of the game on the bench because you guys were ahead by so much. Is that helpful to you at this point in the series to grab that much rest?
Yeah, of course. We'll get anything we get, any advantage, any edge, so we're going to use that. We need to rest.
Victor, après la défaite dans le match 3, je me suis dit peut-être bêtement que dans la préparation de ce match-là, vous devriez faire des choses peut-être différentes en termes de motivation. J'ai posé la question un peu à tout le monde, est-ce qu'il y aurait des ressorts différents, des discours à avoir particuliers pour me remotiver? Et ce qui est sorti de ça, c'est qu'entre ton entraîneur et les joueurs, ils ont tous dit, au contraire, en fait, on n'a absolument rien changé, rester sur les mêmes habitudes. Qu'est-ce que ça dit en fait de cette équipe déjà? Et comment toi tu as vécu un peu ces 2 derniers jours?
À mon avis, changer quoi que ce soit, ça aurait été surréagir. On s'est préparé de la même manière, on a fait le shoot-around de la même manière. Je pense que ça aurait été un manque de confiance et un manque de foi de changer tout pour une défaite. On n'était que derrière un match. C'est une longue série.
Est-ce que tu peux revenir sur ton tir du milieu du terrain? Est-ce que déjà c'est le premier que tu mets en professionnel, un panier d'aussi loin? Et sur l'action, on a l'impression vraiment que tu maîtrises le temps, que tu es très calme, tu te précipites pas. Et ta réaction après quand tu harangues le public pour rentrer au vestiaire?
Bien sûr, ça a été mon erreur dans le passé sur ce genre de tir, de se précipiter, d'avoir peur de se faire contrer ou quoi que ce soit, mais c'est bête. C'était différent aujourd'hui, voilà. En playoff, on trouve tous des moyens de progresser à notre manière différemment, et c'était une partie du jeu sur laquelle je devais progresser, donc voilà.
On a un peu parlé sur les 3 premiers matchs de l'apport du banc qui était peut-être un petit peu en dessous des attentes. Ce soir, il y a Harrison Barnes, par exemple, qui est très très précieux. Qu'est-ce qu'il apporte, ce joueur, sur un match comme celui-ci, sur un match aussi important, et quelle solution il apporte sur le terrain, justement?
Harrison, c'est quelqu'un qui sait se placer. Ce que je veux dire par là, c'est qu'il sait quand être agressif vers le ballon, il sait quand spot-up juste dans le corner, et surtout ses discours. Ils sont très précieux, ils me parlent beaucoup. Ils parlent à l'équipe, beaucoup en individuel. Et voilà, c'est sûrement le joueur le plus expérimenté en termes d'expérience playoff de notre équipe, et peut-être des playoffs tout court. Donc on attend ça de lui, on attend ce genre d'impact de sa part. Thank you.
Ouais, Victor, tu en as un peu parlé en anglais, mais pour t'avoir en français là-dessus, selon toi, c'est quoi vraiment le gros ajustement, le principal changement entre le match 3 et le match 4, ce qui fait que vous avez trouvé des solutions pour gagner ce match 4?
Il n'y a pas vraiment eu de gros ajustements. On a parié sur ce qu'on savait faire, sur qui on était. Comme je disais plus tôt, fallait rien changer, il fallait juste être meilleur. Merci.
George, hard not to comment on Victor Wembanyama's demeanor after a big win like that. You've played with so many great young players on their way up to the peaks of their powers. What stands out to you most about the way Victor Wembanyama carries himself after a victory like that one?
Yeah, he carries himself like a true leader, like the true spearhead of the San Antonio Spurs organization. That's a huge win for them. I got reminded during that press conference that this is his first playoff experience, and he is in the Western Conference Finals. And you look at how dominant he's been and what he's been able to do for his team throughout the playoffs. And he's never, overexcited or, overshooting things. He's just in the moment like, hey, it's great that we did that and we started out this game, but now we need to start the next game like that. And, we can't dwell on this win because, our goal is a championship and we have 6 more wins to get to that point. And to be a 22-year-old kid and to think like that is, frankly, it's pretty amazing. Usually guys at that age that are playing this well want to talk about themselves and everything that they've done and how good they are. And Victor Wembanyama is the total opposite. He's like, we are all employees of the San Antonio Spurs and we have to do uncomfortable things. And how can we move forward and win games together doing uncomfortable things? It was just overall remarkable. Then you toss in the French at the end. Like, this guy does it all.
Probably employee of the month, could go on to be employee of the year or the decade. George, as you watch him now, as he goes through the rest of this series, what do you hope to see out of Victor Wembanyama as his team looks to get all the way to the finals in, like you said, his first playoffs?
When he's emotional like he is and attacking the rim like he has been, I feel like it opens so much for not only himself, but his teammates. I mean, the force that he plays with, like you see right here, it almost makes you feel as you're a defender like this guy is impossible to stop. So you have that all night along with him making threes like this. It's like, what do we do to stop this guy? It makes it almost impossible. So what I'd like to see from him is continue to play with force, getting downhill, sprinting the floor like he does, and finishing at the rim, because it's simply a work of art that we're seeing from Victor Wembanyama.
And of course, this is against the defending champions. When we come back, George, I'm going to ask you, we're going to learn, what does Oklahoma City need to do to get out and back to their next NBA Finals? So when we come back, George Niang and I will continue to break this series down. We'll be here on the association for a little while longer.